Good afternoon and welcome to Greenwood, South Carolina, Greenwood Airport. My name is Evan Amaya. I work at Palmetto Avionics, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Microkit landing height system, which is a LiDAR laser range finding system that allows the aircraft to know exactly how high above the ground it is on approach and landing. So here is my airplane. It's a 1968 Mooney M20F, and over here on the wing is the landing height system. It's a nice small box, you can see here. This is actually the LHS 200C model, which is the upgraded version that has landing gear warning built in. This is actually new. This came out in September of 2022. So I'm reviewing this in October. There's two flavors of this, the 200C and the 200B. The B is $100 cheaper and does not have the landing gear warning option, and it's meant for airplanes with fixed gear. This more expensive model can be used. You can disable the landing gear option, but that would make no sense. On the bottom there, you can see the LiDAR to level 1 laser, and here is the wiring harness it comes with. The C model for landing gear has a 5-wire harness, and the one without landing gear has a 4-pin wiring harness. So not huge. I mean, you can see it in my hand. It's a relatively small box. It has, as far as interface, it has an interface to the audio panel. So if I open up my airplane here and we can look, so it interfaces to the audio panel. I have it actually wired in through aux1. It also is wired to the GPS. It uses an aviation RS-232 format, and it has a wire going to the landing gear, in my case to the light, telling the system that the gear's down. And then it's got power and ground, like a normal system would have. So this is a Johnson bar manual gear airplane. It still doesn't prevent you from forgetting to put the gear down, but so having a gear warning system on top of being able to hear how high off the ground you are is a huge benefit. The G3X that's in this aircraft is also integrated to the gear. And when we're flying the airplane, you'll hear, when I'm coming in on approach without the gear down, it'll also be warning you that the gear's not down. So I'm gonna have multiple gear warning systems now in this aircraft. Under the wing, so you mount these under the wing in an inspection plate. This is a Norcy installation. So it is a little bit easier. It's just a logbook entry, but right there is the unit installed in the wing. And I've got it right just a little bit forward of the gear. Not that that matters too much, but I figure as close as I can to the fuselage and as close to the gear, it's going to be more accurate. You don't want to put it in the exhaust stream. The bottom of the airplane gets pretty dirty. So it likes to be in the wing better than under the airplane. So we're going to fly the airplane. I'm going to shoot an approach on runway 27. The wind is out of the north, looks like out of the northwest right now. So we'll do 27, and we'll see how this landing height system works. I'm looking forward. This is the first time I've flown with it in this aircraft. We've been installing these now for a couple of months. Well, actually going on a year now, but this is the newest version. So the old version is no longer available. This one's more accurate and goes to a higher altitude. So this will be a fun little test. So I'll see you in the air. All right, I've just done the run-up, and I just reset the landing height system, so in 2 minutes it will go and tell us that the landing height system's ready. And that can be set at instantly or for 5 minutes.
10 to the south will be on our left base for landing runway 27 at Greenwood.
It can be set to whatever you want. And I'll also show you on the equipment. I'm going to load a approach directly to Greenwood, and then I'm going to go ahead and load the procedure. So approach, and we're going to do a 27 to Cobot approach and activate. All right, so now we've got the approach activated, and we are good to go. All right, so we'll see you in the air. Here we go. All right, airspeed's alive. Positive rate. Gear is up.
Landing height system ready.
Greenwood traffic, Meridian 5 to the south, inbound for landing runway 27, Greenwood.
And there's the landing height system telling us it is ready. Greenwood traffic, Mooney 733 X-ray is entering left downwind, and then we'll be departing the pattern to the east, Greenwood.
And Mooney, we've got, we're about 4 to the southeast on kind of a wide left base. We'll be looking for you.
I'm going up through 2,000 feet now, about midfield, left downwind 27, so I should be no factor.
Okay, we're coming through 2,300.
2,000.
Now we're going to be climbing to 3,000 feet. And that's the highest that the landing height system will measure. It'll read 3,000, 2,000, 1,000 via the GPS RS-232.
Traffic, Meridian 2 mile left base, landing 27, Greenwood.
And Greenwood traffic, Mooney 733 X-ray is at 3,000, and we are just off the east end of the field, departing to the east, and we're going to be doing a practice approach on 27, but we should be out of your way.
No problem, we're down at 1,200 now.
All right, let's engage the
traffic,
autopilot.
Turning 2 mile final, runway 27, Greenwood.
All right, autopilot's engaged. We're going to set up 3,000. And let's activate the approach. So I'm going to go to flight plan and activate the approach. So the landing height system should measure
Meridian's clear, 27, Greenwood.
3,000 feet, 2,000 feet, and 1,000 feet using the GPS. And then after that, it will measure 200 feet and down using the LiDAR laser range finding sensor that's out in the right wing. Now, the system is smart enough to know that if I'm going faster than a preset speed, in this case in my airplane I set it to 120 knots. We're currently doing 162 knots ground speed, and that's what it's measuring since it's getting it from the GPS. So it's going to ignore any call-outs for a couple of reasons. One, if you are flying above the clouds and there's any ice in the clouds, then the laser can actually bounce off of that and give you a false reading. Also, if you were flying, say, at a lower altitude, and you don't want the GPS altitude to keep telling you 3,000, 3,000 when you're flying along at 3,000 feet. So you set that threshold speed roughly at your flap speed. And that's what I've basically done. I figured 120 knots. I'm never going to be flying that slow unless I'm doing an approach to land. We are entering the hold at the initial approach fix, and we are doing the approach to runway 27. So right here is the approach to 27, and I've got it loaded. I can back it out a little bit so you can see the whole screen. So we're going to be flying inbound here in a minute. We're just doing a big circle out here. I've got all my engine information over here, and it's a little bumpy today. It's the afternoon, so it's going to be bumpy. But this is, as far as my equipment, that is a standby G5. This is a 10.6-inch G3X. Scoot back a little bit. And then I've got a 345, GMA 345 audio panel. This is a GNC 355 COM GPS. This is a 255 NavCom, and then the GFC 500 autopilot, and then another G3X MFD, which can be multiple things over here. Right now I have it split between engine and map. So over here I could have this set up for instance, chart. So I could have the chart pulled up here, and we could be using the chart to fly in on. And then I also have a carbon monoxide detector as well. So right now,
It's 0, which is good. That's what it's supposed to be at. And we are about to make the turn. So we're going to be turning inbound here. So the airplane will make a right turn. The airplane's flying itself. I'm not flying it. It's got pitch trim as well. So it's pretty much a hands-off flying airplane. I just armed the autopilot in approach mode. You got to do that before you get to the initial approach fix on the inbound. As I was saying, on top of the landing height system's landing gear warning system, the G3X has its own algorithm, and it has to have a couple of things happen. You've got to be below flap speed, below gear speed, 1,000 feet off the ground, and I believe in the vicinity of an airport in order for it to actually give the warning that your gear is not down. And then the factory system just works off of the throttle. It has a micro switch on it, very simple system. If the gear is not down, and you pull the throttle back to 15 to 10, really 10, 12 inches of mercury manifold pressure, then a horn goes off. So that's not super accurate because a lot of people fly approaches way too fast. So they'll never get the throttle back enough for the horn, the factory horn, to go off. Now the factory horn cannot be disabled or removed because the airplane was certified with it. But between the landing height system and my G3X, I should not forget to put the gear down. Now on this approach, I am not going to put the gear down, at least initially, so we can hear all of these systems go off. Because I'd like to make sure that they're working. And then I'll plan on doing the missed approach and then come around and land again. Alright, I'm getting slowed down. We are almost to the initial approach fix on runway 27. Moonies are notoriously hard to slow down. I do not have speed brakes on this aircraft, so you've got to plan well in advance. We're 10 miles inbound right now, so I've got time to get the airplane slowed down. Greenwood traffic, Mooney 733 X-rays, 10 miles inbound from the east on the RNAV 27. Practice approach, low approach only, Greenwood. Alright, I am going to descend to the altitude that we are supposed to be at, which is 2,500. And then we're going to hear the 3,000 go off here momentarily. But we didn't hear the 3,000 because I'm going too fast still. So I need to pull the power back. Remember I told you I set it to 120 knots. We're now doing 113 ground, 118 on the airspeed indicator. So we should hear the 2,000 when we cross it. The 3,000, I'm pretty sure, did not go off because we were going too fast. All right, I'm at landing gear extension speed now, which is what I've got to be at in order for the autopilot, for the G3X to tell me the gear's not down. So any minute here, we're going to start hearing it go berserk. We're still a little high. We're at 2,500 feet. Field elevation is 630 feet here. I have a 13-knot headwind right now. All right, let's add some approach flaps. We are at the final approach fix. So this is where I would put the gear down normally, but I'm not going to today. Greenwood traffic, Mooney 733 X-rays, 5 miles inbound on 27 RNAV approach. Low approach only, Greenwood. Just a beautiful day today.
2,000.
All right, there's the 2,000. And glide slope is captured. We're on the approach and we're descending. Feels weird doing this without the gear down. Prop forward. All right, that sound is the gear warning system on the G3X. The landing height won't start going off until we are 200 feet off the ground. So as you can see now, the landing gear on the G3X, check gear, is going off. I've never let it go this long. And if I pull the throttle all the way back, you'll hear the factory one maybe, because the factory system's not coming through the audio system. But that's the factory system, if you can hear that beeping going off. All right, we're currently doing 75 knots indicated, which is perfect for the approach. My angle of attack is almost, we're a little bit fast, but
1,000.
there's the 1,000.
Airspeed. Airspeed.
So you can see the system's not getting happy. Oh, that's the G3X. Greenwood traffic, Winnie 733 X-ray is low approach only, runway 27, Greenwood.
Check landing gear.
Now, the check landing gear was going off, but we are awfully close to landing at this point. So I'm going to go around.
Check landing gear.
And Greenwood traffic, Mooney 733 X-rays, doing the mist, 27 Greenwood. All right, so that was exciting. So as far as a landing gear warning system, it definitely worked. Everything there seemed to work great, but it was awfully close.
1,000.
200 feet off the ground is not a lot. I mean, it's definitely would save you from forgetting to put the gear down, but not by a whole lot. So I'm glad it all worked. All right, this time we're going to do just turn back. We're going to get in the pattern, head back to 27, and land normally, and let's see how this system works. Greenwood traffic, Mooney 733 X-rays, left crosswind 27 Greenwood. And Greenwood traffic, Mooney 733 X-rays, left downwind 27 Greenwood. What a beautiful day. All right, so I got to get slowed down. As usual, going too fast. So I'm doing 100 knots right now. So I'm going to get the airplane slowed down to 90, 85 knots, somewhere in there. Fixtures in, props in. All right, this time we will not get the gear warning because I'm going to have the gear down. So gear's coming down. Gear's locked. Putting approach flaps in. I've got a green light. All right, getting the airplane slowed down. So you can see I've got the AOA, which is super cool. And then my boost pump's on, gear's down, gear's indicating down, the gear lever's down. So all of that is showing my gear should be down. Traffic, Mooney 723 X-rays, left base, 27 Greenwood. All right, more flaps. All right, we're doing 75 knots, which is perfect. No traffic. There are airplanes that fly around this airport with no radio, so you definitely have to keep an eye out. So at 200 feet, this thing should start calling out. Gears locked. Greenwood traffic, Mooney 733 X-rays, final 27 full stop Greenwood. All right, we're on glide. Doing about 78 knots right now. Just got a tiny bit of a crosswind, not a lot.
100. 70.
Gears locked, gears down.
50. 20. 10. 5. 2. 1.
So that's pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Now I was on speed, so I didn't have a long flare there. So I know in some other videos I've watched, you hear a lot of 1-1-1-1-1s as they're losing speed in the flare on the runway. But I was coming in right on the ball on the AOA, so there wasn't a whole lot of energy left on that. But very nice to hear. I think at night, that's going to be a huge advantage at night. I'm always flaring out high at night. My night vision's not as good as it once was. So, yeah, I think it's worth the money. So the system right now, the one that I've got in this airplane with the landing gear, is $1,165. I think it's 65. So just a little under $1,200. And the one without the landing gear is $100 less than that. So if we are installing this system along with an installation, we're charging $500, which is pretty cheap. If we're installing the system standalone, just without doing anything else, you come in, we install it on an airplane without the gear integration, it's $1,000, and with gear integration, it's going to be around $1,300, depending on your aircraft. Some aircraft are harder to integrate to the gear. So yeah, I think it's a cool system for the utility, especially for the landing gear warning. So that wraps up the review of the landing height system. I think that was a successful flight. And thank you for watching.